This is the level 103 target for instant base repair in the August raid Unopposed. Hey everyone, Derpy here, welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. Hopefully if you watched the video on level 102, a lot of the tactics I'm using here are pretty similar, although some ships are a lot different. Again, make sure you are using the flagship's built-in weapon right here to debuff the enemy ships. It not only slows them down, but also reduces their reload percentage, which makes them take longer to shoot at you. Now, this target is interesting because I do have an X1 Dark Herald Harbinger flagship, which does have me a little bit spoiled. That will remove the fire fields. If you don't have that, you will have to play around and try and dodge those fire fields. I'm going to target the Eradicators first because they have the weapons that actually hurt me. This was a switch from last raid, which wasn't announced very clearly, at least in my mind. Alright, starting out here, we're actually going to go for the Hulk first, and again, make sure you're debuffing it, staying at max range, and staying moving, along with doing a little bit of spinning so you can avoid the damage by staying at max range and spin to try and kill this thing more quickly. Again, stay moving here. I did actually not kill this thing on the first pass, which is fine, and I did run back into a bit of the mortar damage, which is whatever. Alright, against these Eradicators, just try and kill those. It doesn't matter if you debuff these things or not, because the weapons here are going to give out fire fields sometimes, which is whatever, because the flagship, at least for me, takes them away. You can't really tell where they're going to land, which I find annoying, but that is what it is, so whatever. Alright. Now, I did mention that the projectiles here had been changed. At one point, I thought that the actual origin of the weapons changed too. It doesn't. These Hulks still spit out things you need to stay moving against. So stay moving against these Hulks and against the Eradicators. Those ones are the ones that the flagship will help out against completely. So the Hulks are the most important things to target. So stay moving here, spin around, use at least 4 sections if you can to do damage to these things. You will have riots that come at you. They spawn based on a timer. Things spawn at 14 minutes, then at 13. If you are driving this target in a way that you're completing most of the ships before the 13-minute mark, which I often do, you're going to find out that there are times where you are waiting, sometimes 15-20 seconds, sometimes 90 seconds, for things to spawn so you can kill them, which is a little bit frustrating. At this point in the target, pretty much everything is dead in this main target, and 1 or 2 of these different riots are still incoming. Again, try and use your flagship weapon to slow them down, get close, and spin around. And now I have to wait for the 13-minute mark to hit before other ships are incoming. There are still a few stragglers from the first group, which is why it looks like there's constant action, even though there's not really any of that. By the way, I will show the build at the end of this as always. I should mention that I am X1, however the path for these is the same regardless of upgrade level. I've done this with my U0 free fleet. It does take more like 55 minutes damage than 25, but whatever, it's still possible. The only difference is you have to be more mindful of the fire fields, which isn't so much of a path as it is a driving technique that I really do not like those things, so I've gone ahead and done flagship X1. Damage taken here is much more explosive. I'm concluding that it's from the mortars if I'm ever forced to double back, and from the explosive in the Hulks, along with the concussive Hulk weapon not being present in this target. And you can also evaluate your damage, how well you're using the explosive weapons, by looking at this screen right here. Looks like 10 minutes damage flat on the dot, which is perfectly fine by me. X1, you should be getting it about that. You can also auto this target for more like 22 minutes in base instant repair if you would like. If you don't have X1, if you have U3, if you have U2, you'll be closer to 25 minutes. U0 is pretty rough here. Not having X1 the flagship is pretty rough. As I show you the build, keep in mind that I actually have all my builds for every single thing in Battle Pirates in a Google Doc in the description of these YouTube videos. Go to the YouTube description, click Show More, open that up, click on the link, and it gives you the Google Doc with access to all my builds and ships such as the Punisher Mark II. You can go ahead and check out all of these. If you have questions on the target I just did, any comments, go ahead and let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you. I'm going to say thank you to everyone whose name appears on screen now, and as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.